Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are looking at something incredibly meta and honestly, absolutely fascinating. Have you ever watched a tech review online and, you felt completely compelled to buy the product, but at the same time it felt like you were just getting honest advice from a good buddy? Well, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen by accident. Today we've got our hands on a source document that is literally a blueprint. I mean, it's a step-by-step set of highly specific instructions designed to generate a fast-paced, high-converting YouTube script for a channel persona called Tech Verdict Central. We're going to deconstruct this blueprint piece by piece, just to see exactly how digital trust and authority are manufactured. It is practically a masterclass in copywriting, audience retention, and conversion tactics, all packed into a few very strict rules. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this highly organized framework. Today we're covering 4 distinct phases. First, the target, which is the WiiM Amp. Second, setting the right tone. Third, the core review structure. And finally, strict guardrails and SEO.
Section 1. The target, WiiM Amp. Every great review needs a compelling subject, right?
So here's the raw material the reviewer actually gets to work with. The target is the WiiM Amp, and the blueprint mandates that the review has to revolve around these exact specifications. It's a multi-room streaming amplifier. It boasts compatibility with AirPlay, Google Cast, and Alexa. It has HDMI and voice control, and it streams from major services like Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal, the whole shebang. But what's really fascinating here are the strict limitations placed on the writer. The blueprint explicitly forbids the reviewer from making outside product comparisons or doing any sort of installation tutorials. None of that. They have to build their entire narrative strictly around this specific set of features. Why? To keep the script tightly focused, moving incredibly fast, and completely relevant to whatever the consumer was searching for in the first place.
Moving on to Section 2. Setting the right tone, psychological framing.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how strict the formatting rules in this blueprint really are. The mandated tone, it has to be natural, conversational, and professional. And what's absolutely 100% forbidden? Marketing hype and emojis. No way. The source document insists that the entire script has to flow seamlessly. No robotic, clunky transitions allowed. It's designed to feel way less like a pushy sales pitch and much more like a fluid, authoritative conversation with a reliable expert. It literally demands short, punchy sentences, to keep the pacing dynamic and friendly. Now, the specific cultural psychology at play here is super fascinating. The document explicitly notes that American viewers trust transparency and a straight-to-the-point attitude. By intentionally stripping away those hyped-up buzzwords and flashy distractions, the writer is forced into a highly authentic, hype-free American English tone. And this is a very calculated move to build immediate trust with the reader. Basically, the viewer drops their guard because, they don't feel like they're being sold to. They feel like they're getting a professional, straightforward evaluation from someone who genuinely just wants to help them shop smarter.
All right, Section 3. The core review structure, the mandatory flow.
Let's see how this actually builds, because the reality is these 4 core blocks are wrapped in some pretty aggressive audience retention tactics. Actually, before the product overview even begins, the script demands a hook, like immediately asking if the product is actually worth the money, which is then followed by a quick greeting and an early call to action to get viewers clicking links right out of the gate. Only then do we hit the core steps. Step 1 is the product overview, cutting straight to the purpose and value proposition of the WiiM Amp. Step 2 shifts to real-world value and performance, everyday scenarios. Then, right before Step 3, the script requires this retention loop. It's basically a teaser warning viewers about a crucial detail they just have to hear, keeping them glued to the screen. And finally, Step 4 delivers the final verdict, laying out exactly who the product is actually for.
So the really crucial point here is Step 3, the catch. Like I said, to get to this point, the blueprint dictates using that retention loop. A teaser like, hey, there's one detail that could completely change your mind, just to keep viewers hooked until they hear the downsides. The blueprint strictly requires an honest, realistic critique highlighting clear limitations or maybe situations where the product is just not the best choice. Now, why mandate a negative section? Because let's face it, perfection is suspicious. By openly pointing out a potential deal breaker or flaw, the reviewer totally solidifies their credibility. It proves their transparency and honestly makes the positive points in the review vastly more believable.
Finally, Section 4. Strict guardrails and SEO, marketing mechanics. The first major guardrail we see here is honestly a matter of pure integrity. The rule is absolute. Do not fabricate technical specifications, period. If a piece of data isn't provided, the reviewer cannot just invent a number out of thin air to sound smart.
Instead, they have to base their analysis accurately on the product's category and standard user expectations. This strict prohibition against making things up is absolutely crucial. It ensures that the review, even though it's highly optimized and persuasive, remains factually grounded and genuinely trustworthy.
And here is where the absolute mastery of this blueprint really shines through. The instructions mandate that the writer must naturally weave in high-intent SEO phrases. Things like, is it worth it, real-world performance, pros and cons, and unbiased verdict. I mean, these are the exact terms consumers are typing into the search bar when they're deep in the buying funnel, literally with their credit cards out and ready to go. The fascinating tension here is that the writer has to subtly inject these algorithmic, high-converting optimization terms while rigorously maintaining that dynamic, unhyped, reliable tone we talked about earlier. It is a delicate, high-wire act of digital copywriting.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. When you look at the anatomy of this blueprint, you're looking at a masterfully engineered machine. It is designed from the ground up to capture search traffic, hook attention, and build instant trust. But it begs the question, can strict guardrails and targeted SEO phrases truly coexist with an unbiased verdict? Like, can a review be fully authentic if its structure, its teasers, and its phrasing are so meticulously calculated to convert? It's a fascinating look behind the curtain of modern digital media, and I bet it'll definitely make you watch the next tech review you come across in a completely different light. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this deep dive was as illuminating for you as it was for me. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.